Welcome back, guys. It's a nooner. It's a whole nother day. You had your 3 a.m. challenge, 3 a.m. reaction video. Now you got your nooner, and then maybe coming up later tonight, around 7, a longer video. Not sure. We're doing a live stream Friday, October 7th. Me and Russ is doing a live stream around 8 o'clock, so that might just be count as the later video. I'm not sure, but let's get into this nooner. What I'm going to do is something a little different here. We're going to look at the TV schedule for ABC, CBS, NBC. Saturday mornings, 1980, 81, 82, and 83. And if this is a hit, we're going up through the years. I was going to start like the 70s, but I figure 80s were a better place to start. And I don't know about you, but man, cartoons on Saturday morning was nothing better than waking up on a Saturday, realizing you didn't have to go to school, you had nothing to do all day, and cartoons were on. Cartoons. It was the first time TV was geared at you. Because, you know, in the prime time, you might be watching some stuff, but you would watch it with your parents, or most of the time they get to pick and tell you what you're going to watch. But Saturday mornings, that was our time. So let's just start here with ABC at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, before 8 o'clock, I think it was mostly local stuff, so you got a lot of different variety. But at 8 o'clock, you had Super Friends. I don't remember watching Super Friends that much. I watched it. I just don't remember getting all into it that much. Over on CBS, you could watch The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse and Heckle and Jekyll. I remember that. Don't remember really watching it. Or you could watch and at 8:30 you could watch the Tom and Jerry Comedy Show on CBS. Now I didn't say Super Friends was an hour long. Over on NBC, you could watch Godzilla and Dynamite Hour. I remember Dynamite. I don't remember a Godzilla cartoon. Now, I'll be honest, 1980, 8 o'clock in the morning, chances are I was asleep. I was probably asleep until 9 to 10 o'clock on a Saturday. So let's move on to the 9 o'clock hour. We got on ABC, we got Fonz and the Happy Day Gang. Now, I remember watching Fonz and the Happy Day Gang. I must have been up at 9 o'clock because I remember this. You know, Fonz was a big thing in the 70s. I think by this time the Fonz was dying out. People wasn't as crazy about the Fonz, but the cartoon was fun, that's for sure. That lasted 30 minutes. And the next show came on at 9:30, and it lasted until 10:30. We'll come back to that. CBS aired the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show for an hour. Now, this is the thing most kids watched on Saturday, is our introduction to Big Bird, what am I talking about? To Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner. Oh, I can remember coming on and sometimes they wouldn't show Roadrunner, and I would be very upset. But that lasted from 9 till 10:30, so it was an hour and a half. Classic Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner. And then over on NBC, you had the Flintstones Comedy Show. I wasn't a big fan of this one either. I liked the original Flintstones. I didn't care for the comedy show or when Bam Bam and Pebbles got big. Now at 9:30 back over on ABC, you could watch the Richie Rich Scooby-Doo show. It was last an hour, so I guess it'd be up 30 minutes of Richie Rich and 30 minutes of Scooby-Doo. I said it before, I said again, I hate Scooby-Doo. I watched it some as a kid. I never got into Scooby-Doo. It seemed like it was always the same old story. I never liked Richie Rich either. I would watch it. So looking at the schedule here, I probably started with Bugs Bunny, and then by 30 minutes later, I'll probably flip it over and watch a little bit of Richie Rich, and then go back to Bugs Bunny by the end of it. At 8:30, now we're getting a little later in the day, Thunder the Barbarian. I don't remember this at all. I know what it is, of course, but I knew of it, but I don't remember ever watching it or getting excited that it was on. I probably, at that age, well, He-Man wasn't out yet, so I was going to say I thought it was a He-Man ripoff, but it wasn't out. Over on CBS was the all-new Popeye Hour. Now, I remember that, but I was never a Popeye fan. I would watch it if it was on. You're like, Junkman, you didn't like none of these shows. Over on NBC was the Daffy Duck Show. Again, I don't remember having a show. ABC at 11 o'clock would come on the Heathcliff and Dingbat Show. That doesn't jar me. That doesn't have a memory at all. And over on NBC was Batman and the Super 7. I don't remember none of this stuff. On CBS at 11:30 was Drake Pack. Never even heard of Drake Pack. This is the first I've ever heard of Drake Pack. And over on ABC was the Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show. Now, I knew Plastic Man. Plastic Man I would watch, no doubt about it. Plastic Man was my 11:30 show. Then we got into 12. By 12 o'clock, I was usually playing with my toys or outside, probably outside. So a lot of this stuff at 12 and up I didn't watch. 12, of course, was the news, and yuck. The news, what I would have said back then. CBS was the new Fat Albert show. I remember it, but again, I didn't really watch much at that time. And Johnny Quest, I didn't even know was on in the 80s. I thought that was like a 60s show. And ended up at 12:30, we had American Bandstand on ABC, and CBS had the Tarzan Lone Ranger Hour. I don't remember that much either. Now I said we were going to go to 83, but we might stop a little earlier because this is going a little longer than I thought. You got to keep it kind of short for a nooner video. Curious what you guys watched. Let me click on this 81. My internet's decided to be really slow right now. So, okay, let's look at 1981. I was turning 9 that year, so maybe I'll start remembering some of these more. 8 o'clock in the morning on ABC, you had an hour of Super Friends. Of course, I knew Super Friends. On CBS, you had at 8 o'clock the Kinky Canola Show. I don't know what that is. Something by Carla Bear, I guess. Then you had the Trollkins. Trollkins. I don't know what that. I don't know. I've been watching Super Friends. I probably was watching. Well, I take that back because NBC had the Flintstones. If that's the original Flintstones, I was probably watching it. But I remember it coming on TBS a while. But by NBC 8:30, the Smurfs. Now I was there for the Smurfs. Smurf is. I can really start to remember getting into cartoons. The Smurf was like my must-see TV. I had to get up and I had to watch the Smurf. Now it says here it stayed on until 9:30. That explains it because I probably didn't wake up until about 9. Had to watch the Smurfs. And I can remember probably the late 80s, early 90s. I was way out of cartoons. And I was like, the Smurfs is on. I hadn't seen the Smurf in years. And it had all different Smurfs. It had a female on it that wasn't, when I grew up, it was just one female. So they ruined it. Let's see here. At 9 o'clock was Fonz and the Happy Day Gang still. And then at 9:30 on ABC was the Laverne and Shirley in the Army. I remember that Laverne and Shirley went to the Army. CBS, of course, was still playing Bugs Bunny, the Roadrunner show, for an hour and a half. And that was probably a really big hit. Over on NBC, you had the Kids Superpower Hour with Shazam. I do remember that. It's one of those, if it was on, I probably would have watched it. Because over on ABC was the Richie Rich Show and Scooby-Doo. We already talked about that. CBS at 10:30 a.m. had the Popeye and Olive Oil Show. Talked about that. NBC had Space Stars. I'm not sure what that is. Space Stars for an hour. I'm not really sure what Space... it looks like it had a bunch of different cartoons. Teen Force, Space Ghost. I don't remember watching Space Stars at all. On CBS at 11 o'clock was Black Star. I remember they did some toys, but I don't remember ever watching the show. ABC was Goldie Gold and Acting Jack. That don't even sound familiar, man. I guess I didn't watch cartoons like I thought I did. At 11:30 was Thunder the Barbarian. Maybe I didn't get into cartoons when I was a little older. CBS was an hour of Tarzan, Lone Ranger, and this time they added Zorro. NBC had Spiderman and His Amazing Friends, and that one I did watch. I had to watch that one. And then by 12 o'clock, I was outside. NBC had the Weekend Special. NBC had the Daffy Duck Show. And then at 12:30, they had the Bullwinkle Show. I don't remember that. CBS had the Tom and Jerry Show. And ABC had American Bandstand. Now, let's go to 1982. Let's go to 1982, and then we'll wrap this up. And if it's a big hit, we'll do 83, 84, 85 next time. Super Friends has been cut down to 30 minutes now on ABC at 8 o'clock. And then, okay, now we get into my cartoons now because 8:30 till 9:30 was Pac-Man, The Little Rascals, and Richie Rich. I can remember that block coming on. Pac-Man, I'm going to get to it. I'm not going to tell you because I remember this. I'll get to it at 9:30. Pac-Man, oh, I was in love with Pac-Man. I had to watch my Pac-Man cartoon. Over on CBS was Speed Buggy. I remember watching, that was good too. I would probably flip between Super Friends and Speed Buggy. And NBC had the Flintstone Funnies. I don't remember that unless that's when the kids are growing up. At NBC at 8:30 was Shirt Tales. I remember that. Never watched it. Always seemed like a girl cartoon to me. And CBS had the Sylvester, Tweety, Daffy, and Speedy Show. They don't even talk about Speedy Gonzalez now. I think you'll get canceled if you bring it up. I didn't really care about that. I might watch it, but I was more into Roadrunner was my favorite. I like Sylvester and Tweety would make me laugh sometimes. So ABC at 9:30, Pac-Man would come back on. We had an hour. We had Pac-Man, Little Rascals, and Richie Rich until 9:30. And then Pac-Man got another 30 minutes all to himself. And I was there with a bowl of cereal. I was watching Pac-Man. And then at 9:30 for an hour and a half was the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. That seemed like it lasted for all of the 80s at that time slot. NBC, of course, between 9 and 10, they took the 30 minutes of the Smurfs, brought it into an hour because it was such a big hit, which is probably 3 or 4 episodes or something. I'm sure it wasn't 1 hour episodes. But I probably watched that, probably watched the little Smurfs, and then hopped over to Pac-Man and watched that. Probably cut it back over to Smurfs. If one I've seen before, I hit Bugs Bunny. ABC at 10 o'clock had Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley, and the Fonz Hour. I remember those. Don't remember getting excited about watching them. 10:30 on CBS was Gilligan's Planet. Oh, I love Gilligan's Planet. Now that was another one I had to watch. NBC had the Gary Coleman Show. I can remember when that was a huge, getting excited about that coming out. Not me excited, but TV, ABC, or I guess NBC was excited, pushing it out. I can remember hearing about it, but I had to watch Gilligan's Planet, and I had to pick one of the two, and I picked Gilligan's Planet. 11 o'clock was, of course, Scooby and Scrappy-Doo. This time they added Scrappy-Doo to the mix. And I actually admit I liked Scrappy-Doo. I hate to say it because I don't like Scooby-Doo. But as a 10-year-old kid, I liked Scrappy-Doo. Sorry. CBS was Meatballs and Spaghetti. I never heard of that one. NBC had Spiderman and His Amazing Friends. That was probably the one I was watching right there. 12 o'clock, of course, was the news on ABC. CBS had the Popeye and Olive Oil show. That's hard to say. NBC was local programming. CBS at 12:30 had the new Fat Albert. And at 1, they had Black Star. Like I said, I don't remember that was outside playing. And at 1:30, they had CBS Children's Film Festival. Curious what that was. Probably a different film every Saturday. And ABC ended their Saturday morning lineup with American Bandstand, something I never watched. And in fact, just saying American Bandstand sounds like something that was a little before my time. But as I can see here, getting into 82 is starting to feel more familiar. Shows I had to watch. I think next year, 83, we're going to get into Rubik's Cube and a lot of those pop culture cartoons that I really remember. Maybe Dungeons and Dragons is coming up. So I guess most of my cartoon memories are me in my early teens more than being, a little kid. But I should have done. I'm curious what the 70s would have been. But it was probably my brother or my sister picking out the programming back then. Anyway, that's a look at Saturday morning cartoons. I love Saturday morning cartoons, and I love the prime time, like 7 o'clock before the premiere. They would do a big 1 hour special on like CBS or ABC of the new lineup of cartoons coming out, and I would get excited watching that. Or the TV Guide Fall preview would come out, and they would talk about the new cartoons, and I would be excited. Anyway, let me know all these scheduled. Which one did you watch? Did you watch any of these cartoons? And if you did, which ones? Or maybe there's some here you don't remember, just as I did. Well, thank you. This is Junkman Nooner. We'll be back later with another video. Thanks for, I guess, listening this time.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.